Good morning, everyone. So, in the last class, we can discuss the core Java concepts here. So, today we are going to discuss about Spring-related concepts here. Okay. So, in the same folder, we'll create a one more the package name here. So, for com.spring. So, I have this particular com.spring. We'll try to work on the our Spring-related concepts here. Okay. So, based on this particular module name, we'll try to work on the our examples here. Okay. com.spring.core. So this particular module is going to provide the information. So regarding our Spring class related information. Okay. So just for understanding here, now what I want to write here for the main class, Spring test I am going to create here. So remaining, we'll try to discuss the how we are going to work on the remaining examples here. Cutting the fun. So we'll see, we'll try to close up the other classes here. So I need to check whether the last class we uploaded the video or not. So even I don't have an idea. So let me check here. So what is the last date we discussed here? 6th. So I did not upload the last class video. So today I will upload. So because I forget to upload I thought the video is uploaded. Okay. So I did not upload the last class. So I will upload today. Okay. Back to here. So first we need to discuss about the basic concepts here. So why we need to move and what is the drawbacks we identified in the previous technologies here. Getting the point. So I'm requesting here, please mute yourself here. Okay. So now back to basically we already discussed here the Java is introduced in 1992 and so it's from the 1992. So today onwards the application whatever the application we are developing in the Java, so the applications are successfully running here, right? Basically what I want to provide here, the viewer, you need to enable the audio option here. So you did not enable the audio option here. So once you enable, then only you are going to get a voice here. So try to enable. Okay. So back to here. In the 1996 here, Sun Microsystem introduced a one concept called Java Beans here. Getting the point. So same, you did not enable the audio. Getting the point. So basically, so today is our first class. So some of the yes. Okay. So back to here. So what I want to provide here, in the 1996, Sun Microsystem has introduced a one new concept called Java Beans here. Getting the point. So what exactly the Java Beans will contain here? Getting the point. So inside this particular Java Beans, so using this particular Java Beans, so we are going to create our software with the help of this particular reusable and easily component model. Getting the point. So we are going to work on the application, whatever the application we are going to developing. So inside the application, whatever the classes we are going to create here, so those classes we are going to create as a reusable classes. And so using this particular Java Beans, we can develop the complex applications here. Getting the point. In the 1996, Sun Microsystem introduced a one concept called so Java Bean. With help of this particular Java Bean, we are going to develop the application based on the component model. Getting the point. So what exactly the component model is going to look like? So we'll see in our upcoming classes here. But now observe, with help of this particular component model, we can reuse the applications as well as we can develop the component complex applications here. Getting the point. And so they were primarily into the building the user interfaces here. Getting the point. So if you understand here, in Java, we are having one concept called applets. So the applets are replicated now. But initially, with the help of this particular applets here, now what you understand here? So with the help of this particular applets here, so we used to develop the our user interface related applications here. Getting the point. The same functionality is added into the Java bin. Getting the point. So the same functionality is added into the our Java bin, so that we are going to have the same functionality into the Java bin. We can develop the user interfaces widgets here, right? And so here the drawbacks we are having inside this particular Java bins. What are the drawbacks we are having here? The first drawback here, whenever we are trying to whenever we need any services here. So what are the services we need? So some example here, like we need any transaction support or security or any distributed computing or otherwise remoting application here. So those services we are unable to get from the Java bin. Getting the point. So those services we are unable to get directly from the our Java bin here. So to get this particular services here, now Sun Microsystem one more concept introduced. So that is called Enterprise Java Bin EJBs. Getting the point. So with the help of this particular EJBs, so we are going to develop the application, and whatever the application we are going to developing here, we are having an option to get the services called transactions as well as security or any remote related services or any network related services. Getting the point. So these are the services we are going to get from the our EJBs. Getting the point. So when this particular EJB is introduced in the 1998, the EJBs are introduced. Getting the point. Now, so in the EJB also, we are having some drawbacks here. Getting the point. So basically, with the help of this particular EJB, we are going to get a declarative programming here. So declarative programming is nothing but, so what are the services we required here? We are going to declare those services here. So whenever, like wherever we are defining the services here, so with the help of this particular EJB container, so we are going to get those services information here. Getting the point. Now, what you are understanding here, with the help of this particular EJB, we are going to get declarative programming model, right? So declarative programming model. And based on this particular EJB, we are having some drawbacks here. So what are the drawbacks here? Even though we are getting the particular services here, but the application development is very complex here. Getting the point. So the application development is very complex here. So because of this particular drawbacks here, one important concept is introduced. So that is called our Spring framework here. Getting the point. So Spring framework is introduced here. So this particular framework is introduced by Rod Johnson here. And so basically the aim is to create our complexity applications, the complexity enterprise applications here. Getting the point. So server-side application, we are going to create with the help of this particular Spring here. And as well as here, whenever we are trying to work for this particular Spring here, we can work on our Java bins to achieve the what are the previously possible with the help of our normal Java bin. So something called reusable, and with the help of this particular Java bin, we can develop the complex application. Same way, the same functionality we can develop using our Spring here. Getting the point. And with the help of this particular EJB, so what are the services we are going to get? So those services also we are going to get from our Spring here. Getting the point. Basically, Spring is a advanced concept based on the Java beans and EJBs here. Getting the point. So enterprise Java beans and normal Java beans. Getting the point. So based on these two concepts here, Spring is introduced here. So basically, so Spring is it's not a limited development here. So we can develop how many application, the server side application we can develop here. So there is no limitations here. Getting the point. But when we are trying to work for the EJBs or Java beans here, So we are having some drawbacks here when we are trying to work for the some services resource here. So we are going to get some complexity here. But these are the complexity we are not going to get from the our Spring here, because the Spring is introduced here loose coupling, and so we can work on the our plain hold Java object here. Plain hold Java object here. So something called Pojo model. The Spring is going to work on the our Pojo model. So how this particular module is going to work, we'll try to focus on to the our upcoming classes here. But now we need to understand here one of the benefits we are going to get from the Spring. So we can we can develop the simplicity, and we are going to test our application and loose coupling here. So these three are the advantage we are going to get: simplicity and testability and loose coupling here. Getting the point. So these are the three main concepts we are going to get from the Spring here, right? So back to here. Now what are the core component we are going to have in the Spring? What are the core component? So we are going to have, we need to understand here. Basically, Spring is going to provide many things here, but here, so those things we divided into the multiple parts here. Getting the point. So those things we are going to divide into the multiple parts here. Basically, Spring is a lightweight and dependency injection here. Getting the point. So Spring is a lightweight dependency injection, so as well as object-oriented container here. Right. So we need to understand here the basic concepts here. Spring is our lightweight dependency injection as well as our object-oriented container here. So how exactly it is a lightweight and dependency injection here? So basically, if you compare the size of this particular Spring here, so it is a lightweight here, because all the framework, like all the bulk of this particular Spring framework information, it is distributed into the single jar file. Getting the point. So when this particular Spring is introduced here, all the whatever the code we developed inside this particular Spring framework here, the code is converted into the single jar file here. And initial version, like whenever the Spring 1.0 introduced here, the weight of this particular Spring jar is 2.5 MB. But now, so they added multiple features here. They added multiple features here. The size, it is increased here, but compared to the EJBeans and Java beans here, so Spring is a lightweight here. Spring is a lightweight here. Getting the point. So another feature we are having dependency injection here. Getting the point. Lightweight identified. We need to discuss on the dependency injection. So basically, using this particular dependency injection, we are going to get a loose coupling here. So we are going to get a loose coupling technique here. So how the loose coupling techniques we are going to get? So we'll understand here based on some example here. Getting the point. But we need to understand here. So whenever we are trying to work with a Spring framework here, so we are going to get a loose coupling with the help of this particular dependency injection. So when this particular dependency injection is applied, the objects are possibly given their dependency. Getting the point. So instead of working with a tightly coupling here, whenever the dependency injection is applied, getting the point, the objects, like whatever the object we are going to interacting in our application, so those objects are possibly they are going to communicate with our dependent object here. So instead of creating or looking for the dependent object here, right? So we'll see how this particular dependency injection here, but just we need to understand the so what exactly the dependency injection is going to contain here, right? And another feature we need to discuss here, aspect oriented. So we are going to call it as a AOP concept here. So Spring is come with our rich support here. So with the help of this particular AOP, we are going to connect with our so different types of services here, different types of services with the help of this particular AOP, and here is going to provide the separating of our application business logic from the system services. Getting the point. So with the help of this particular AOP, now we are going to get a differentiation between the application development code as well as the services here. Getting the point. So because while developing the application, we are going to get a different kinds of services here. So those services is going to differentiate by this particular AOP here. Getting the point. So aspect oriented programming here. And now with the help of this particular AOP, the application object, whatever the object we are going to create here, so they are supposed to be a business logic here. Getting the point. So whatever the object we are going to create here, so those are comes under our business logic here. Right. And the services here, just we are going to declare the services here. So based on our container, we are going to get the services information here. Okay. So those services information we will see whenever we are trying to work on the different services here. In the core module, we are not going to discuss more about the services concepts here, but in our other than the core module, we'll try to focus on to the services information here. Okay. So back to your container here. So basically, container is one important concept in our Spring framework here. Basically, the container is going to play very important role to creating an object here, getting the point, configuring and life cycle of this particular object information. So everything is going to handle by the container here. Getting the point. Basically, the container is going to manage the life cycle and is going to configure our application objects here. So inside this particular application, so how many objects we want to create here, just we need to share the information so that the container is going to create an object and it will focus on to the life cycle of the object here. The life cycle object is nothing but when this object is created up to the creation to the between the destroy, everything is going to handle by the container here. Everything is going to handle by the container here. So now you can think how much this particular container is important here. And in our Spring application, so we can declare how this particular objects we need to create here. Getting the point. So how we want to create an object here, just we can declare the object information. Getting the point. So once the object we declare here, the container will configure and is going to create the object here. Getting the point. So these are the main features we are going to get here. So from the Spring framework, we are going to get a lightweight, dependency injection, so AOP and container here. So these are the main features here. Getting the point. So once we understand this particular main features here, so Spring framework come with different modules here. Spring framework will come with different modules here. So we can see what are the different modules we are having here. So first we need to focus on to the module here. So now you can see, so this section of code is providing, this particular section of code is providing core module here. Getting the point. And now you can see, so this section of code is going to providing AOP. So these are the module I'm trying to creating here. Now observe here how this particular module are important here. Now, so this section of code, so DO module. So inside this particular DO module, we are going to discuss about ORM. So object relational mapping also we are going to discuss it. But now understand here, so DO module. And so another module we can discuss here, MVC. Getting the point. And we can go for the JMS module. So Java message services, right? So finally, we can work on the our remote related. Getting the point. So remote related. So inside this particular remote related, we can work with our so here we can work on the web related as well as remote related. Getting the point. So everything will comes under the remote related, like RMI concepts as well as something called we'll try to work on the HTTP client. So when we're trying to work for the REST APIs. So everything we are going to discuss inside this particular remote here. So these are the modules which are available inside this particular Spring framework. Getting the point. So one by one we are going to discuss this particular module here. First we'll focus onto the core module here. First we'll focus onto the core module. So why I'm declaring this core module below here? Getting the point. So why I'm declaring this particular core module below? Because so any module, whatever the module other than this particular code module we are going to discuss here, so other modules are going to extending from the core module here. Getting the point. The core module functionality is available in other modules here. So now you can think here how much is important this particular core module here. So this is very important, we need to understand here the core module here. So if you are familiar with the core module here, you can easily understand the other modules here. Getting the point. But here other module it's having so specific information. Getting the point. But this particular the common information implicitly is implemented. So along with this particular common information, so each module will have a unique information is available. So those information we are going to discuss here one by one here. So first we'll focus on to the core module here. So in the core module here, we are having container here. Getting the point. In the core module, as we discussed here, the container information here. Basically, the core container is going to provide the fundamental functionality of our Spring framework here. Whatever the fundamental functionality we are having inside this particular Spring framework, so those we are going to get from the inside the core module, and inside this particular core module we are having the container. So the container will have a name called Bean Factory. So basically Bean Factory is our interface here. Getting the point. In the previous example, if I want to find out the information inside any interface or class, what we are doing here? So we try to work on the type here. So we provided the Bean Factory information. But now I'm not getting any information. Observe here. So the previous classes information, something called collection. Now you can see we are getting a collection here. But why we are not getting Bean Factory information here? Basically, Bean Factory is an interface here. Getting the point. So the Bean Factory is going to provide the container related information here. Bean Factory is going to provide the container related information here. So what are the container related information is going to provide? Okay. So we'll see basically first whenever we are trying to work for the Spring framework related example, whenever we are trying to work from the Spring framework related example, we need to download the jars. We need to download the jars here. Getting the point. Because, so as discussed here, the Spring framework is coming from the jars here. So to understand the jars concepts here, now what we can do? First we need to add the jar section. So to add this particular jar section here, so basically what are the jars information which contain? Now observe. Now what I want to provide, so previously we discussed the collection interface. So what is the information is available inside this particular collection class? collection interface. Now observe where this particular collection interface is coming. Where this particular collection interface is coming. Now observe here, this is the collection interface. So it is available inside the which package? Java.util. Now focus here. So where this particular java.util is coming. Now you can see, so what is the jar here? If we want to understand more about here, now you can see, so Java base is a one jar. So where it is available? So programs file Java JDK 13.02 lib jrt-fs.jar. Now what you understand this particular jar? Now you can see the extension of this particular folder jrt-fs. The extension of this particular folder we are having .jar. So what is the information we are having here inside this particular .jar? Right. So inside this particular jar, we are having the classes information, some of the interface information here. So based on this particular classes and interfaces, we are trying to work on the other, like we are trying to get the functionality, like whatever the functionality we define inside the Java, we are getting here. Same way, whatever the functionality we define inside the Spring framework, to get those framework functionality, we need to add the jars here. But Java by default we are going to get, because we are going to download the Java package. So inside the Java package we are going to have this particular jar file here. So explicitly we don't want to jar here. But for the Spring framework we need to add the jars explicitly here. Getting the point? What I want to provide, the jars contain here the classes and interface information. So whatever the implemented by the Rod Johnson here. Getting the point? So this is very important here. The Rod Johnson implemented Spring Framework related functionality. The functionality we are going to get from the jars here. Right. So those jars we are going to get from the, so those jars information we are going to get from the one website called Maven repository. Because whatever the example we are going to discuss here, we are going to discuss with the help of this particular Maven concepts here. Right. Basically, if we are not handling with the help of this particular Maven concepts here, now what we can do? We need to download the jars. And once the jars are downloaded, we need to add explicitly into the class path here. So how this particular jars are added? How this particular jars are added here? Basically, these are the system libraries here. Right. But whatever the jars we are going to add, so we need to add into the source directory here. Explicitly jars we need to add into the source directory. But instead of adding explicitly, so with the help of this particular Maven concepts here, now what we are going to write here? Now observe here, Spring core. So this is a Spring core we are going to have. Inside this particular Spring core, so first we'll try to focus on to the pre version. First we'll focus on to the 3 version. Basically, we'll discuss the 3 and 4 and the 5th version. Getting the point? Whatever the current version we are having now, you can see 5.2.13. So this section of code, this section of version, we are going to discuss in our Spring Boot concepts here. Getting the point? So 3 and 4 we are going to discuss in our Spring. So 5th version we are going to discuss in our Spring Boot. Okay. So back to here. Now we need to download the 3 related jobs here. 3 related jobs here. Now observe what I'm doing here. 3.2.4. Now you can see, so any version you can take here. Now I'm trying to take 3.2.4. Now what you are understanding here? So group ID, artifact ID, version. Group ID, artifact ID and version here. Getting the point. Now I want to convert to this particular core 07. I want to convert this particular module name, project name into the Maven here. So now you can see configure, convert to Maven project. And so I'm going to making as a everything is same here. Click on finish. So once this particular project is going to convert it into the Maven project here, we are going to get an one XML. So what is this particular XML here? So whatever the jar we are going to copy, here, and we'll paste those information inside this particular form.xml. Once we place this particular the jars information inside the form.xml here, so it's going to download the jars from the central repository, and it will add it into the our source directory. Getting the point? So we are getting some automation. Once we add this particular jars information here. So now you can see, so this particular building workspace is going on. So once it is completed, getting the point. So once it is completed, now you can see we're having dependency here. Basically, to add this particular dependency, first what we can do, we need to add dependencies here. So inside this particular dependencies here, so we need to specify like this. Here. So once we specify here, now you can understand here. So what is happening internally? Now you can see inside this particular progress. So it's trying to download in here. Now it is downloaded here. So where it is available here? Now you can refresh this particular project here. So go to this particular Maven dependencies here. So what is the jar we added here? What is the artifact name we are having? Spring-core. So what is the version we are having? So 3.2.4 release. So same thing we are having or not here? Spring-core 3.2.4 release. Getting the point. So this is the way we can add whatever the jar we want to work from the Spring framework here. Now, what is the information this Spring core will contain here? So how many packages information we are having? So these are the packages we are having here. So Spring framework, ASM, and common signature utils. Getting the point. So we are having different packages information we are having here. So we'll see. So inside this particular spring org.springframework.core. So these are the classes information and interface related information. Now what you are understanding here? So with the help of this particular jars, we are going to get the Spring framework information into our local. Based on this particular jars information, we are going to develop the applications here. Right. So this is very important. Like first we need to add the Spring framework functionality like core jars information into our locals. So then only we are going to work with the Spring framework. So if we are not adding Spring related jars, we cannot write a simple example also. Okay, now we understand here. So let me open with the Beam Factory. So still we are not getting here. Alright, now, so what you need to understand here, so we need to focus on to the one more dependency we need to add. So something called Spring context. So with help of this particular Spring context here, now what I'm trying to write. So again I'm going to take same version. So we need to work on the same version here. So what is the version we taken? 3.2.4 release. So let me add this particular dependency also. Control Shift F. Whenever we want to make some format here, now what we can do? We need to select all the code and we can click on the Control Shift yes, so that the code is going to formatted here. Now observe, so we build the, we download the context also. Now you can see whenever we are trying to download the context here, but these many jars we identified here. So these many jars we are identifying here. Getting the point? So previously when we are adding this particular Spring Core, we are having only one jar here. So we'll go for the dependency hierarchy. So we'll go for the dependency hierarchy. Now if I'm going to close Spring Core, we close like a Spring Core is internally is depending on the commons logging here. Commons logging. But now you can see the Spring context here. Spring context here, now observe carefully, is depending on internally AOP, AOP Alliance, Spring Beans. Now we can focus on the Spring Core, getting the point, and Spring Expression. Expression here. Whenever we are adding this particular Spring context here, so how many jars we are getting additionally? How many jars we are getting additionally? Now we can focus on the Spring AOP, Spring Beans, Spring Core, and Spring Expression. So these many jars we are going to get here, right? But now, so which one is suitable here? So which one we can add here? So either Spring Core we can go for, or we can go for the Spring context here. So instead of adding one by one here, so what we can do, we can go for the Spring context here. The Spring context is having internally these many dependencies here. Right. So we don't want to add explicitly Spring AOP or Spring Beans, Spring Core, and Spring Expressions here. So everything we are going to get with inside this particular context here. Carrying the point. So this is very important here. Now what we can do, we can make comment on this particular Spring Core. We can make comment on this particular Spring Core here. Now you can see if I'm going to comment here, only one core is available here. So this particular core is coming from the where. So to understand more, again we need to go for the dependency hierarchy here. Now you can work on the Spring Core. So it's coming from this. It's having in the 3 dependency locations here, but the only one file is downloaded here. So instead of downloading explicitly 2 files here, so we commented one file. In the context here is trying to download only one file here. Okay. So back to here. Now what I want to write here, Bean Factory. So observe here. We are able to access the Bean Factory information or not? Bean Factory information. Now you can see which is coming from the, so which jar here. So to understand here, now what we can do, we need to go for this particular Spring Beans here. This particular Bean Factory is coming from the Spring Bean jar file. Right. The particular Bean jar file we are taking from the context here, because context is a head of this particular remaining jars. So whenever we are adding context here, the dependents we are going to download it here. Right. So this is all about the jar section here. Now we are trying to discussing this particular Bean Factory. Basically, Bean Factory is our core container. Bean Factory is our core container. With the help of this particular Bean Factory, we are going to create our Spring container. With the help of this particular container, we are going to load the object here. Right. So to get done a container object here, what we need to do here? We need to work on the Bean Factory. Getting the point. So basically, Bean Factory is an interface here. Can we create an object of this particular Bean Factory? Can we create an object of this particular Bean Factory? No. So we cannot create an object of this particular Bean Factory. So if I want to create an object of this particular Bean Factory, now what we can do? So yes, so either we can implement this particular bean factory. So for example, how we can implement this particular bean factory. So inside this particular Spring test here, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to implement IE also. Implement here. Here I want to take implements or extends here. So which keyword we need to take here? Here which keyword is suitable here? So we need to go for the implements here. So why we need to go for the implements keyword here? Basically, so we are having class to interface relation. Now observe, whenever we are trying to implementing from this particular bean factory, so how many methods we need to override here? So I'm trying to add unimplement method section here. Now you can see get bean method. Again we are having get bean method, and this is also get bean method. Now this is also get bean method, and so contains bean method. So is singleton bean or not? They're checking. Is prototype or not? Is type match, and get type, and get alias. Right. So these many methods we need to override here. Getting the point. Basically, bean factories are an interface here. So bean factory is containing these many methods here. Now you can see these are the same methods we are having. Now if you observe, so get bean, which is taking one parameter. So again one more get bean we are having, so which is taking string name string name comma one more parameter which is expecting so class type here. So whenever we are providing this particular required type here, it is trying to return the appropriate class type here, right? So this is one more get bean which is expecting only class type here. So we are not providing any bean name here. And the same way now observe, so which is expecting here. So we discussed this particular concept in the previous classes here. Can I know what is the concept we are going to call this? Object to 3 dots here. Any idea? Object to 3 dots we discussed in our previous example here. Okay. So basically the concept we are going to call it as a var concept here. So why we will use like this? Basically, so if we are not using this particular var concept here, we need to define the method parameter list. So how many method parameters so this particular get bean method is going to expecting here. So for example, so string bean name is a one parameter. So one more parameter we need to define, and one more parameter. For example, so we are defining 3 parameters bean, but so we need to pass one more parameter. So the simple example here I want to provide here. So public void name of the method we are having var here. So the var is expecting the first parameter as a name, second parameter as a type, and the third parameter is also something called str, and okay, now we'll add 3 parameters. Getting the point? So we'll add 3 parameters this particular var method is expecting. So sometimes what happened here, other than these 3 parameters, I want to add one more parameters. So observe, So simple example I'm creating here. So we created object here. So what is the object we created here? Something called, so spring test here, tst is equals to new spring test here. Getting the point. Now after this, now what I did here, tst dot vararg method, and here I passed here 3 parameters. So just imagine I'm trying to pass 3 parameters. So it will work successfully. But the problem here, if I'm removing to the 2 parameters, the problem here, if I'm trying to remove to the 2 parameters, so it will compile successfully or it will give any error here. Getting the point? If I'm trying to remove this particular comment section, so it's going to give error or it will compile successfully here. Can I know? So what happens here? If I'm going to call this particular vararg method, tst.vararg method, so what happens here? Whether this particular vararg method is going to call or it's going to give any error here. So basically, it will give an error here. Getting the point? It will give an error here because we are passing 2 parameters here, but the method is expecting 3 parameters. The method is expecting 3 parameters. So now you can see one more parameter I'm trying to add. Now we can observe 4 parameters. 4 parameters I'm trying to add, but this particular method is expecting 3 parameters only. If you're trying to add 2 parameters also, it's going to get an error. And if you're trying to add 4 parameters also, it's going to get an error here. Getting the point? So dynamically, we cannot add parameters, or we cannot increase the parameters or we cannot decrease the parameters when we are trying to declaring like this. When we are trying to declaring like this here, right? So to access this particular example, now what we can do, we can go for the concept to call vararg here. So with help of this particular vararg here, now what we can do, with help of this particular concept to call vararg here, now we can define 4 parameters, or you can define 2 parameters, or you can go for the 10 parameters. Getting the point? So everything is going to handle by this particular vararg concept. It's not going to give any error here. So basically, so first we need to specify the name parameter. After name parameters, now we can add 1 parameter or 2 parameter or 10 parameters or 5 parameters. Any parameters. So it's going to handle by the concept called vararg concepts here. So this section, which is coming from our core Java here. So this is very important here. So this is an advantage we are going to get from the vararg here, right? So back to here, our getBean method. Basically, getBean is our overloaded method is added here in our which interface here, Bean Factory. Now, so what we need to understand here, if I'm trying to write here, so if I'm trying to call this particular getBean method, basically we need to return one object here. So what is the object we can return? What is the object we can return? So first, what we need to understand here. So we need to focus on to the Spring provided implementation class. Spring provided implementation class here. So what is a Spring provided implementation class here? So the implementation class called XML Bean Factory. XML Bean Factory here. So we'll understand here what is the information they provided inside this particular XML Bean Factory. Okay, now, so we need to understand here, so which is extending from the default listable Bean Factory. Default listable Bean Factory. We'll see what is the information which is available inside this particular default listable Bean Factory. Now you can see, so this particular class is still extending abstract auto-wire capability Bean Factory. Now we'll understand here, so whether this particular class is extending or implementing from the bean factory or not. Now you can see configurable bean factory, and this particular configurable bean factory is extending bean factory. Getting the fun. So finally, we reached our bean factory interface or not. So whatever the implementation class we are discussing here, whatever the implementation class we are discussing, the XML bean factory, so explicitly or implicitly what we understand is implementing from the bean factory. Getting the point. Now you can see bean factory is extending from the, hierarchical bean factory is extending from the bean factory. Now what are the information it is having? So one method called parent to bean factory. One method called parent to bean factory, and one more method called contain local bean. Getting the point. So two specific methods added into the hierarchical bean factory. Now if I'm going to move to the bean factory, now you can see what is the information we are having inside this particular bean factory. So what are the information we got? So those information we are going to get. Now you can see get bean factory, get bean method, contains bean method, is singleton method, is prototype method, is type match, or get type, get alias. Carrying the point. All the methods we have seen inside this particular class called Spring Test. Right. Now what you are understanding here? Basically, so bean factory is our base container. Whenever we are trying to create this particular bean factory object here, we are going to get a container object here. So this we need to understand very carefully here. Right. Now internally, so which is extending or implementing different classes here. Now focus here. So one more interface we are having, configurable bean factory. So what are the information we are having inside this particular configurable bean factory? So they are having singleton or prototype here. Now you can see we are having set to parent to bean factory, bean class loader, some information we are having inside this particular interface. So we'll try to understand each method here. Now focus. So this is our abstract class. This is our abstract bean class. So by extending this particular factory bean registry support and implementing configurable bean factory. So configurable interface is extending from the hierarchical bean factory. Hierarchical bean factory is extending from the bean factory, right? And now we identified. So this is our abstract class here. So inside this particular abstract class, so some of the methods are implemented. Some of the methods are implemented here. Class loader, type converter, have some hash map scopes here, like already created or not, they are providing some constructors here. Now you can see get bean method. So whatever the get bean method we identified in our bean factory, the get bean method is provided here. Now internally it is calling so to get bean method. Now what is doing here? Based on the name here. So based on the name here, they are trying to finding a transform bean name here. So with help of this particular transform bean name here, now what it will do? So based on this particular method here, we are trying to converting our bean name. So we'll see how this particular each and every method is going to work. So back to here. So what we need to understand here. So this is our abstract class. This is our abstract class, and from this particular abstract class we are having one more abstract class here, and so this is also one class called default listable bean factory and XML bean factory. So the XML bean factory is extending from the default listable bean factory. Now what is the information we are having here? So everything is going to call from the resource and null. So this is the one constructor we are having. Internally one more constructor we are calling, and here we are going to call from the super parent bean factory, and internally they are calling. So this is a method. Okay, right. So this is the object we are going to create. to get a container object. So what is the class? XML Bean Factory. So we'll see, so what is the information which will contain inside this particular XML Bean Factory, right? So along with this, we are going to have, along with this Bean Factory, we are going to have one more container here. Carrying the point. So Spring Framework come with two container object here. The first one we identified. The second one we need to focus on to the application context object here. Something called application context here. Getting the point. This particular application context will have some additional benefits compared to our Bean Factory. So basically, with the help of this particular application context here, so we can get to know for internalization concepts here. So the messages we can convert it into the different languages here. Carrying the point. So we'll see how this particular I18 carrying the point. So I18 we are going to get here. So this is we are going to get an additional benefit from the application context here, and we are going to get an support call, email sending a support, validation supports here, application life cycle events here, cutting the point. And so we are going to get another frameworks here, another framework support here, right? So everything like Bean Factory is going to provide the fundamental functionality, but application context is going to provide the fundamental functionality with some additional benefits here. Carrying the point. So this is, we can call it as a application context is going to provide the more information compared to the our Bean Factory here. So here, this is all about the core module here, and we need to focus on to the Spring AOP module. So basically, the AOP module here, we can discuss once our core module is completed, and later we'll go for the JDBC abstraction here, and how we can work on the JDBC module here. And once the JDBC module completed, we'll move on to the ORM module here. So how we are going to work on the, we'll also discuss here, and later we'll discuss with our MVC module here. Carrying the point. MVC module we are going to discuss here, model view controller, and once it is completed here, we are going to focus on to the JMS, and finally we'll focus on to the our REST APIs here, right? So these are the modules we are going to discuss here. First, we need to understand the simple example here. Carrying the point. So we need to understand the simple example with the help of this particular Spring Core module here. So observe, so how we can work on this particular simple example. Let me close all the module section here, and I don't want to implement this particular Bean Factory. I don't want to implement this particular Bean Factory. So I want to close everything here. Okay, so back to here. Basically, now what I'm trying to write here, I want to define one interface here. So where I'm going to define here, so inside this particular com.spring core here, getting the point, com.spring core. What is the name of the interface I'm going to define here? Something called greeting service. Greeting service our interface I'm defining here. Inside this particular interface, we are going to have one method called say greeting. Basically, we are entering into the Spring framework here, so we need to provide the some messages section here, right? So to provide the messages section here, I'm defining one interface, and I'm trying to providing one method called say greeting. Say greeting, right? Now what we can do? So we need to implement this particular interface or not. Let me provide this particular implementation section class here. greeting service IMPL. Greeting service IMPL implements greeting service. Right. Now, let me save this particular class. So it's going to add, it's providing the information. So add unimplement methods here. So what is the unimplement method we are having? Say greeting. So don't confuse here. Basically, simple interface we define and simple interface we define. Finally, we are trying to define messages here. So before going to add this particular message, now what I want to write here, private. I'm trying to defining one variable called greeting. One variable called greeting here, and I'm so providing default constructor. So along with the default constructor, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work for the one more constructor. So which is expecting string greeting. Getting the point? So this dot greeting is equals to greeting. So now you can see Control Alt, Control Shift F. So that now what we are doing here, we are trying to make the format here. Right. So what we are doing here, we are creating one service IMPL class. Inside this, we are defining one variable, and we are trying to work for the two constructors here. And after defining these two constructors here, now what I am doing here, so I am trying to printing this particular message called greeting. Getting the point? Now, so if you observe carefully, here we need to add one method here. So the method name I'm trying to add here, set greeting here. Carefully focus here. Sorry. Getting the point? So we identified the local this keyword, constructors, variable creation, everything we discussed in our previous example. Now what I'm doing here, so I'm creating one interface, I'm creating one implementation class, and we are having one method. What is the name of the method we are having? Say greeting method, and we are having two constructors here. Sorry, say greeting and set greeting. Okay, back to here. Now what I want to write here, basically in our normal core Java, can I find in our normal core Java, so if I'm going to call, like if I want to print this particular greeting message, so what are the steps we are going to write? What are the steps we are going to write here? So if I want to print this particular message information, what are the steps we need to write here? So could you please explain me? No idea? So this is very important here. So if you are not understanding here, we cannot like what are the topics we are going to discuss for the Spring Framework concepts here. So you cannot understand here. So we need to compare the previous example and everything here. So someone provided information here by constructor, by setter, message plus greeting. Message plus greeting. No, could you please providing the basic steps here? So directly we can call this particular say greeting method. So do we have the option to call the directly say greeting method? Because by constructor or by setter, once someone provided the information and some other provided message plus greeting, make it static. So I don't want to use static here. So whatever the code I'm writing here, with the help of this code only, I want to get a message here. So what I need to write here? Change the return type. So what is the use of changing the return type here? Okay. So can you please let me know if I want to call this particular? Yes. So basically we need to create a object of which class object we can create here? We can create a greeting service IMPL, and after creating we can call the say greeting method with the help of this particular greeting service IMPL. So if you observe here, I'm having the method main method, greeting service IMPL, something called IMPL is equals to greeting service IMPL. I'm expecting so one parameter constructor. I'm calling one parameter constructor here. Now I'm trying to pass message because the second constructor is expecting string as a parameter, right? And here I'm going to add welcome to Spring Framework. Getting the point. After this, IMPL dot say greeting. IMPL dot say greeting. If I'm going to call here, run as Java application here, we are getting a message. But here, what we are doing here, we are creating an object here. With the help of this particular object, we are calling the method. Okay, so this is a normal example. So what we discussed in our previous examples here. But the same example, if I'm going to use from the Spring Framework here. So what are the steps we need to use here? Okay, so back to here, to work on this particular Spring Framework here, one more file we need to create here. One more file we need to create here. The name of the file I'm going to create as a here application.xml. Application.xml. Carrying the pen. So we need to provide this particular XML file. So why we need to provide this particular XML file? So because we are going to work on the Spring Framework XSD here. So why we need to work on the Spring Framework XSD? We need to provide the information here. Now I want to add this particular XSD information here. Basically, so this is the XSD information we are going to add. Carrying the point. So inside this particular XSD, so what is the information it is having? Let me copy this particular XSD, and now I want to go for this particular file. Now you can see what is the information we are having here. Right. Basically, this particular XSD will have a information. So some tax related information we are going to have. So based on this particular tax related, we are going to provide the information. So whatever the object we want to create. Getting the point. The objective information we are going to provide with the help of this particular XSD. Now you can see, so the element to name, we're having the beans. Right. So go for the bean here. So these are the beans here. Bean, XML bean, bean element, bean attribute. Where is the bean declared here? Now you can observe the name of the element they provided as a bean here. The name of the element they provided as a bean. Now what we are doing here, if you observe carefully, so inside this particular bean, if I'm going to give control space, so we are getting the bean or not? Or you can say description and alias, everything we are going to get from this particular XSD. So why we need to provide this particular XSD? Because the container is going to understand the whatever the objective information we are going to provide. So those information we can provide with help of this particular XSD here. With help of this particular XSD. Now if you observe, I'm trying to providing bean. So inside this particular, so these many properties we are having. So these many properties we are having here. Getting the point. So first we need to focus on to the bean ID. So bean ID. Now why I'm trying to providing this particular bean ID. Getting the point. So we see bean ID and one more attribute we are having, class attribute. So what is the use of this particular class attribute here? What is the information we need to provide? Basically, what is the object? Like what is the class object we are going to create here? The class information we can provide here. The class information we need to provide inside this particular class. So what is the object we are creating here? What is the object we created? Something called greeting service IMPL. So this particular greeting service IMPL is available in the which package. So this is the name of the package. This is available inside the which package called com.spring.co.greeting service IMPL. Getting the point. Now, so we provided the greeting bean ID and class. Right. So after this, what I'm doing is, so we need to work on the one more attribute here. One more attribute here. Now you can see property. Property attribute I'm trying to take. What is the name of this particular property? So we are having the name of the attribute to greeting here. And after this particular property, so what is the another properties we are having here? Attributes we are having here, ref and value. So first we'll check for the value, later we can go for the ref here. Right, now observe value. Now what we need to provide here? Welcome to Spring Framework. Welcome to Spring Framework here. Getting the point. So this is the way we can work on this particular bean section. Getting the point. So this class attribute is providing the information. This particular class attribute is providing the information. So what is the object we want to create? So the class we are providing here. Right? The property attributes. Because in our IMPL class we are having one property. In service IMPL class we are having one variable here. Getting the point. The name of the variable we are having greeting here. Right. So we need to provide the value of this particular variable. So the value of this particular variable, how we are providing it? So this is with the help of this particular value attribute. And what is the use of this particular bean ID? Bean ID. So this particular bean ID, we are going to provide as a bean name to load this particular bean object. Getting the point? To load this particular object class greeting service IMPL. Getting the point? So these are the main information we need to understand here. Now observe, I'm trying to formatting this particular code as a greeting service IMPL. And after this, what we can do? After this, now what are the steps we need to write? Because after creating this particular XML file, directly we are not going to get any objects here. We are not going to get any objects here. So we need to provide the main class here. We need to provide the main class here. Now the main class I'm trying to create here, Spring main. Inside this particular Spring main here, now what we can do, bean factory. Getting the point? Because we are trying to work for the basic example here, like basic container. With the help of the basic container, we are going to write a simple example first. Later we can move on to the application context here. So bean factory, we need to work on the implementation class. Now you can see XML bean factory. Now what you are understanding here, so this particular XML bean factory, the constructor is expecting a resource object. The constructor is expecting resource object here. So what is a resource we need to provide? What is a resource we need to provide? Right. Now observe, basically resource is again it is an interface. We need to work on the implementation class here. So the implementation class I'm trying to work here, new class path resource. Class path resource here. Right. Here we need to provide the path here. So what is the path we need to provide here? The path we need to provide here, application.xml. Application.xml. Correct the point. So now you can see, whenever we are providing these many lines of code here, we are creating bean factory object here. So with the help of this particular bean factory, now what we can do? We can call get bean here. We can call this particular get bean here. And here, so what is the name of this particular bean we need to specify? The name of the bean we need to specify here something called, what is the ID we are having? Greeting service. What is the ID we are having here? We need to provide like this, greeting service. Carrying the point. So this particular greeting service is going to return object here. Greeting service is returning object here. Now what we can do here? We need to convert it into our object style here. So to convert here, now what we can do? So greeting service, and here we need to convert greeting service. Greeting service here. Getting the point. Now we can call bean dot say greeting. Bean dot say greeting here. Now observe, if I'm trying to run this particular application as Java application here, now you can say, so what is the message we are getting here? Welcome to Spring Framework here. But here, we are creating any object here? Here we are creating any object here? right? So without creating an object here, we are trying to load the greeting service here. So how we are loading this particular greeting service here? How we are loading this particular greeting service? With the help of this particular bean factory. So basically, so this example is very important here. If you know, like if you understand this example, you can work on the upcoming example easily here. Basically, we are creating a container object. The container object we are going to get from the XML bean factory, and XML factory is expecting resource object. Is expecting a resource object here. The particular resource object we are going to get from the, we are having resource interface. So if we observe resource here, getting the point. Now you can see resource. So these are the resource interface we are having here. So from this particular resource, we are going to have class path resource here. Class path resource is our implementation class, and we are going to have one more resource here, the file system resource. Getting the point. So we'll see the difference between class path and file system here, and we are passing the XML bin factory. And what is a file we are providing a application.xml. So application.xml. So what is exactly the application.xml will contain here? The application.xml will contain the information. What are the objects we are going to create? Getting the point. What are the objects we are going to create? Like what are the objects we need? So those information we are going to provide inside this particular application.xml, and so we are going to creating as a each bean here, right? So in Java we are going to call it as a each object here, but in terms of Spring Framework we are going to call it as bean here, right? So with the help of this particular bean tag, we are providing the information, and based on this particular information, we are going to get an object here, something called greeting service IMPL, right? And the object is going to created by the object is created by the our container here. So once the object is created, with the help of this particular getBean method, we are trying to load. Now we understand here. So what is the use of this particular greeting service? Because the bean ID is going to differentiate the bean ID only. It's going to differentiate the object information here. Based on this particular ID, we are loading the greeting service IMPL object here. Right after this, so we are calling the normal method, something called say greeting method. Getting the point. Now, what we need to understand here, what are the remaining methods we are having here? What are the remaining methods we are having? Now, after, so getBean, which is expecting required type here. So what is the type we need to specify here? And here, greeting service here. Now, what you are going to get here? So we are getting bean2 here. So bean2 dot set greeting. Bean2 dot set greeting here. Now, how many methods we are calling here? Two methods we are calling. With the help of this particular two methods, we are getting two messages here. Because we are trying to load the greeting service with the help of this particular one getBean method, and the same with the help of this particular getBean method, we are trying to load one more service method. Now see the difference between, so ID we are passing here, and we are passing class object here. The class type we are passing here. Getting the point. Basically, when we are trying to creating two objects here, when we are trying to creating two objects here, with help of this particular ID, we can load the two objects, because the ID we are going to get, like we are creating unique ID. But here, when we are having unique ID, we can go for this particular method, and whenever we are trying to creating only one object here, so we can call this particular method, we can provide the class type, and we can load the object here. Getting the point. And this is all about the get bean method. And if I want to work with one more method, get bean, so now you can provide here. Now we can provide get bean and class type. And here I want to provide, so this particular greeting service and required type here I want to provide as a this particular class type here. So bean3. With the help of this particular bean3, now what I'm doing is say greeting. With the help of this particular bean3 also, we are trying to call say greeting method here. Getting the point. So these are the different types to load our greeting service object here. And so with the help of this particular factory, now what we can do, factory dot, so is singleton is type match. So we need to see whether the name I want to provide, sorry, type match here. Now we need to print here, insert this particular sys out here. Observe what it will return this particular type match here. So true. Now what you are understanding is, whatever the ID we are providing here, greeting service is having this particular type or not, we are checking here. Getting the point. So in real time, sometimes what happens here, so if we are not understanding here the type we are going to get to same type or not, we can write this particular method, we can have a condition, we can write the code, and we can implement the whatever the method we are trying to call, right? So this is the purpose of this particular type match here. And now what I want to provide, the another one, factory dot, what are the methods we are having. So we identified alias names here. So what are the alias names we are having for this particular greeting service here? We'll see what is the reference it's going to print here. What is the reference it's going to print here? We need to focus on to the after type match here. So okay, we are getting long here. Sing alias here. So instead of defining str. Now observe what happened here. So true. Basically, we are expecting 3, 5, but we are getting only 4 years. Okay. Maybe, so this is not returning any information, I guess. Okay. So we'll debug the code after str. And what are the method we are having? So hash code is singleton or not, we can check here. Finally, we can check here whether it is a singleton or not. With the help of this particular method, we can check. So it is a singleton. It is a singleton. So we'll see the singleton information and everything in our upcoming classes here. Getting the point. So this is the way we can go for the object creations, and we are going to providing the XML file. And once we are providing the XML file, we are loading the XML with help of this particular bean factory. And finally, we are trying to create our greeting service object, and we are calling the say greeting method. So any questions regarding the example what we discussed right now? Anyone having any questions? So what you need to explain here?
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Actually, I just want to know like the three beans you are calling, right? One is by using this class name. So how the bean like bean one, bean two, and bean three you are calling, right? Can you please explain there? Like I'm just confused there.
Okay. So basically, the difference here, this particular bean, the get bean method, we are providing ID here. Getting the point. So here, when we are having different, like if you observe, sorry, in the application.xml, if I'm going to create multiple beans, same type, creating service sample, if I'm going to create multiple beans here, ID we are going to make different. So for example, if I'm making the same ID, now what is happening here? We are getting an error here. So same ID, we cannot create one more object here. Like we cannot define the one more bean information. Right. So here, what we can do, we need to change the information. So for example, here I am having two objects here. So I want to get only one object here. So to get only one object here, now what we can do, we can go for this particular ID specific. ID specific here. Getting the point. So otherwise, if we created only one bean, so we are not creating this particular code. We are having only one bean here. So we don't want to go for this particular bean. So we don't want to provide this particular ID. So directly we can specify the type here. So what is the type of object we are expecting here? What is the type of object we are expecting? We can define this particular type. Finally, if you observe, the getBean method also is returning so greeting service. And also we are providing the same type here. Whenever we are providing the same greeting service type here, finally it is returning the greeting service type here. Right. But here is applicable only one object whenever we are declaring inside this particular application.xml file. Okay. So this is the difference between these two. Coming back to this particular bean3, now what we are doing then? So even though we created multiple objects here, but I'm trying to specify here with the type here. So could you please load the object based on this particular ID and based on this particular type? Getting the point. So based on this particular ID and based on this particular type, so we are having one more option to load the greeting service object here. So the section of this particular bean, we are having two types. You can see these two methods having one parameter. Either we can go for the ID or we can go for the type. But the bean3 method, we are having two options. Like we need to provide the two information. ID with the type of the particular object here. So what is the object we are trying to load? So those section of code we are going to provide here. Right. So this is the difference between bean2 like bean and bean2 bean3. So this is a different one. So type match. Basically, we want to understand the type match here. Sometimes what happens here, if we are having greeting service, the same greeting service is coming from the any another class here. What happens internally? So we are expecting, like whatever the object we are expecting here, we are not going to get. We are getting an exceptions here. We are going to get an exception. Sometimes this particular type conversion will give an exception here. This particular type conversion will give an exception. So instead of getting the exception here, now what we can do? So finally, we can call this particular type type match method. By calling this particular is a type matcher, it will return So whether, so we are getting the same type of object or not based on this particular ID. Based on this particular ID, we are getting same the type of object or we are going to get from the this particular method called is type match. Right? So this is all about the each type. So we need to think about the get alias method, why it is not written in M. So we are not getting any information here. And finally, so is singleton method. So singleton and prototype. We are having two methods, is singleton and is prototype. Carrying the point. So we'll observe whether object is created only one time, we are going to get for it as a single time. For each request, if the object is created multiple times, we can call it as a prototype. So this particular is single time and a prototype we can discuss in our upcoming classes here. So as of now, what we need to focus here, how the application.xml we created and how we are loading this particular bean factory and how we are calling this particular different types of get bean method. Getting the point. So these are the methods we need to understand first. Right? So any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So one more message I received here. Okay, do we need to create a class even if we are declaring it in the XML? So what is the class we are trying to create here? So can you please explain me?
So here, like we have created that as well as the constructor is also there in the class, right? So do we need that as well even if we are declaring it in the XML?
Can you speak loudly? I could not understand.
So my question was like, first we created the class and it includes the setter, constructor, as well as one of the methods there, right? So do we really need to write all these things in that class and its implementation as well? Like
So basically,
is it okay, or if you create on the setter, is it okay, or do we need both in the same class?
okay. So I understood like you have having some questions on this particular constructor as well as this method, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now what we can do, we can go into this section of code. And we are not going to work for the main. And so we'll remove this method also, the bean also. Now we'll see if I'm going to run the same example. Any errors? No. So whatever the output we are expecting here, we are getting here. So now I want to comment out this particular section. I want to comment out this particular section because we already identified it. Okay. So we need to see only one output here. But my question here, so we are having parameterized constructor. So when we are trying to work the parameterized constructor here, so here what I'm doing here, it's a simple Java question here. Let me, okay. First, so this is also I commented here. So can I know like this section of code what we are going to call? The line number 26, what is I highlighted here, what we are going to call here?
It will call the default constructor.
Right.
which will be created by default by the Java compiler.
Good. But now you can see, if I'm going to enable this, I'm getting an error here.
Yes.
Why it is giving an error?
Because if you are implementing the constructor, parameterized constructor, it's mandatory to include the default constructor as well. As per Java
Yes.
standard.
So because of this only, I added two constructors here. So default constructor and parameter constructor. So this section code we can discuss. Basically, so I explain here dependency concepts here. The dependency injection we are going to achieve from the setter injection and constructor injection. So the current example, what we discuss here, it is a setter injection. Cutting the point. So we'll discuss the constructor injection here in our coming classes here. But whenever we are trying to discussing the constructor injection, so directly we cannot create this particular parameter constructor. We need a default constructor also. Because of this, I created two constructors, right? So as of now, for this current example, we don't have a useful right now, but we are going to discuss one more example, the constructor injection related example. So this section of code is going to use here.
Okay.
Okay. So is it clear? Still you are having any doubt?
Actually, I was confused with the main method which you are already added there, and later on you created that XML and added that dependency there.
So you are talking about inside this particular main method, what we created in the service IML.
I was talking about application.xml.
Okay. Okay. What information we need?
Sorry, sir. That's what I want to explain here. Actually, basically, first you created that main method, right? And later you created this XML. So I thought even if you create anything in a class that main method we need to write, or we need to call this method, the implementation method in any other method. That was my confusion, but now it's clear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So we'll try to continue the remaining concepts here. Basically, the dependency injection we are going to discuss. So we need to create some multiple classes here. First, we'll focus on to the core Java concepts, like in the core Java, how we are going to create an object. But in the Spring, how we are going to get some advanced ways we are going to creating. So some like up to the core Java, we'll try to comparing with different languages here. So once we're familiar with this, so we'll move on to the other module. We are not going to comparing. And what are the information we are having the Spring framework? We are going to discussing one by one here. Okay. So this is all about about today example here, and we'll try to continue tomorrow with a dependency injection here. If you don't have any questions here for the today class, we'll conclude the today session. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Where we can get this recording, like suppose you want to revise anything, or like any practice kind of code. Do we have any
Okay.
website? Or
I will share the link. No problem. Just message me. I will share the link.
oh, thank
Okay. So any other
every
questions?
day you right?
Sorry, every day?
Everyday session will be recorded, and you will share it with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. So each day we need to get one epic URL, and you will share that. Under that, you will get we will get everything.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.